There are moments when your heart quietly asks a question that no one else can hear. What if you have not been forgotten after all? What if the love you have been searching for has been closer than you ever imagined? Stay with this, because there is something deeply comforting waiting for you in these words. If you have carried silent disappointment, if you have replayed old mistakes until they became heavier than your hope, then let your heart become still for a moment. Imagine hearing a gentle voice reminding you that your worth was never measured by your worst day. The message is not about earning love through perfection. It is about discovering that compassion still reaches toward you even after seasons of confusion. There are times when life convinces you that you have wandered too far, yet grace has a remarkable way of finding people exactly where they are. Today, let yourself believe that you are seen with kindness, not through the lens of failure, but through the eyes of endless mercy. Think about the story of someone who left home carrying pride, only to return carrying regret. Before that person could explain every mistake, love moved first. The embrace came before the apology was finished. The welcome arrived before every question was answered. That image still speaks to countless hearts because it reflects something many people secretly long for. You may have spent months or even years believing that you needed to become stronger before you could be accepted again. Yet love often begins where self-condemnation ends. The image of being embraced, gently kissed on the forehead, clothed with dignity, and given a ring is not merely about celebration. It is a picture of restored identity. It reminds you that you are more than your past decisions. You are more than the labels that disappointment tried to place upon you. Do not miss what comes next, because this truth has the power to change the way you see yourself. Perhaps your greatest struggle has never been convincing other people to forgive you. Perhaps it has been allowing your own heart to receive mercy. Every time something good approaches your life, an old memory whispers that you do not deserve it. Every kind word feels suspicious. Every new opportunity feels temporary. Yet healing begins when you stop arguing with compassion and simply receive it. There is quiet strength in accepting that you are still loved while you are still growing. You do not have to pretend that every wound has disappeared. You do not have to hide the places where your faith became tired. Honest hearts are never rejected by genuine love. The deepest restoration often begins in silence, when no audience is watching and no applause is expected. It begins when you finally believe that your story is still being written with hope. As these thoughts settle into your spirit, allow yourself to imagine walking forward without carrying yesterday as a permanent identity. The clothing represents dignity restored. The ring represents belonging remembered. The embrace represents a welcome that does not depend on flawless performance. The kiss represents affection freely given rather than reluctantly earned. None of these images ask you to ignore your journey. Instead, they invite you to see that growth and grace can exist together. Your second chance is not about becoming someone else overnight. It is about slowly recognizing the value that has been within you all along. And as your heart begins to understand this, another beautiful truth quietly waits just ahead, one that may help you see why every difficult season has been preparing you for a deeper understanding of love. There is a quiet moment that arrives after tears have dried, when everything around you looks the same, but something inside begins to soften. That moment is often overlooked because it does not come with loud signs or dramatic changes. It comes like the first light before sunrise, gentle enough to be missed if you are always looking for something extraordinary. Yet this is where many hearts begin to heal. If you have been wondering whether you are still worthy of love after everything you have experienced, listen carefully. The answer is not found in your past, but in the unchanging compassion that continues to reach toward you. Stay with this, because the next part of this message may speak directly to the place you have kept hidden from everyone else. You may have spent so much time trying to prove that you have changed, that you forgot you never had to earn your value in the first place. Growth matters, and every sincere step forward has meaning, but love does not begin when you become perfect. It begins when you allow yourself to believe that mercy is real. The image of being clothed is more than receiving something new to wear. It speaks of leaving behind the heavy garments of shame, regret, and self-doubt. The old labels no longer define you. The mistakes that once seemed permanent are not the final chapter of your story. Instead, you are invited to wear confidence, peace, and quiet dignity. What once made you lower your eyes no longer has to determine how you walk into tomorrow. The ring carries its own beautiful meaning. It is not simply a piece of gold placed on a hand. It represents belonging, trust, and a relationship that has not been abandoned. Perhaps you have felt disconnected, wondering whether anyone truly understands your heart. Perhaps you smiled in front of others while quietly asking yourself if you still mattered. This gentle reminder answers those questions with kindness. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not too late. Every lesson you have learned through waiting has shaped a heart that is becoming wiser, more compassionate, and more capable of receiving genuine love. Do not miss what comes next, because the greatest transformation often begins long before you can see it with your eyes. As you continue listening, let yourself release the pressure to have every answer today. Some doors open gradually, and some healing unfolds one peaceful step at a time. There is beauty in allowing your heart to breathe again without rushing the journey ahead. The embrace you have been longing for is also an invitation to embrace yourself with the same patience and grace. Leave behind the belief that your best days disappeared with your past. Instead, carry this quiet assurance into the hours ahead. You are still growing, still loved, still welcomed, and still becoming the person you were always meant to be. And the next part of this message will reveal why this restored identity changes not only how you see yourself, but also how you begin to see every new day that is waiting for you. Sometimes the greatest change does not begin when your circumstances improve. It begins when your heart finally stops believing that it must carry every burden alone. There is a quiet freedom that comes when you realize you no longer have to define yourself by the chapters that caused you the deepest pain. Many people continue living as though they are still standing in yesterday, even while a new day has already arrived. If that sounds familiar, then this message is gently inviting you to lift your eyes again. There is something important here. The love that restores does not ask you to erase your story. Instead, it transforms the meaning of every difficult page so that even your struggles become reminders of how far you have already come. Think about how often you have questioned your own worth simply because life did not unfold the way you expected. You may have believed that every closed door was proof that you were not enough, or that every delay meant you had somehow fallen behind everyone else. Yet many of the quiet seasons in your life were not empty at all. They were shaping your patience, deepening your compassion, and teaching your soul to recognize what truly matters. When God speaks of embracing you, clothing you, and placing a ring upon you, the invitation is not merely about receiving comfort. It is about restoring confidence that has been hidden beneath disappointment. It is about reminding you that your identity has always been rooted in love rather than achievement, acceptance rather than performance, and hope rather than fear. There is also a beautiful truth about second chances that many people overlook. They are not given because someone never failed. They are received because love refuses to let failure have the final word. Perhaps you have replayed old conversations, wishing you had spoken differently. Perhaps you have carried quiet regret over decisions you cannot change. Yet every new morning reminds you that grace is never trapped in yesterday. It continues moving forward, inviting you to do the same. As your heart begins to believe this, something remarkable happens. You stop chasing approval from every voice around you, and you begin resting in the quiet assurance that you are already deeply known and deeply loved. That inner peace cannot be manufactured. It grows slowly, one faithful step at a time. As this message settles within you, remember that the embrace is not only about being welcomed back, it is also about being strengthened for the road ahead. The clothing is not only about covering the past, it is about preparing you to walk with renewed confidence. The ring is not only a symbol of belonging, it is a reminder that you have a place that cannot be taken away by mistakes or setbacks. Carry these images with you today, allowing them to replace every lingering doubt with gentle hope. Your journey is still unfolding, and every step forward reveals a little more of the person you are becoming. In the next part, you will discover how this quiet restoration begins to influence not only your own heart, but also the way you bring light, kindness, and hope into the lives of others.